we're going to start this little mini module with a question for you. How would you prefer to feel? So I want you to have a quick think about when you're well nourished and well hydrated. How do you feel when you're eating really nourishing foods and you're drinking plenty of fluids? How do you feel? And then have a think about times when you've eaten less well over a period of time and you haven't drunk as much fluids, you haven't stayed as well hydrated. How do you feel then? Do you feel differently? And then I'd like you to think about how you would prefer to feel. Would you prefer to feel how you feel when you've eaten well and you've drunk well? Or would you prefer to feel how you feel when you haven't eaten as well or drunk as well? This is my first question for you. I think it's important to reflect that even though we know that we feel better when we are well nourished and well hydrated, it doesn't always mean that it's easy to do. And one of the first places to start to question ourselves when we struggle to do something, even though we know that it's good for us, is to ask ourselves how important it really is to us. So I want you to think about next, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you that you eat well and you stay hydrated? So have a think about that. And as quickly as possible, come up with your number. Because what your mind will want to do is to pick a number and then make a different number. So go with the one that comes up first. And then I want you to think about how important eating well is compared to other things in your life. So you might have given eating well a really high rating. You might have said 8 or 9 or 10. You might, it's really important to me to eat well. And that's brilliant. And we also need to think, okay, where does it fit into other things? Because is eating well more important than something else? Because this is also might help to explain where you have those internal battles. So it might be really important to you, but something else is more important that keeps trumping that, your efforts to eat well, if that makes sense. So have a little think about that. And here's just something to reflect on before we go forwards. If any of us are going to change anything in our lives, we need it to feel important enough to do something about it. If you're feeling a bit about it, you're probably not going to make much inroads into it. So it's really important that we need to give it some degree of importance. So have a think about your answers to those questions. How important do you feel it is? How important is it compared to other things that are in your life right now? And is it important enough? Have you rated it or ranked it high enough in your mind to be able to do something about it? So this is a really good start.